This playlist collects together several modules that go over the basic orientation to the course. We'll look at our Beachboard homepage, we'll look at our syllabus, we'll talk about the structure, the assignments, the grading details, and so on. This is our Beachboard homepage here. I'm your instructor, Dr. Charles Wallace. You can contact me through the Beachboard class questions discussion thread, or you can contact me through my email at charles.wallace@csuob.edu. I'm going to have office hours this term on Zoom. The link to my office hours, my Zoom, is right here. The office hours are going to be from 12:30 to 1:45 every Thursday. The first 15 minutes or so of office hours, I'll just be talking, assuming people show up, about my perceptions of the particular readings, lectures, assignments that we did either that week or the week prior, to give students a little more direct feedback. And I'll be answering questions and dealing with all the course mechanics that arise during that office hour as well. When we look at our homepage here, the first thing we should note is that each week I'm going to post a posting on our newsfeed, an item on the newsfeed, and that's going to talk about what's going on in the upcoming week. I will post that on Sundays prior to the week in question. It will include things like a discussion of what our assignments are, links to readings, links to the homework assignments that are due, the due dates, and so on. Any other news or announcements that I need to make, I'll do that. And I tend to do this, right? Apprise you of things to anticipate for the next week or the next couple of weeks. When we enter a new module, I'll usually talk about that whole module, what's going on in that module overall, and they usually span over a couple of weeks. If we look over here, there's a CSU LB Student Resources widget, and I've modified this widget from the standard widget to include some links that are important particularly for this term, but I think important generally. So there's a link to the final schedule for the university for fall 2020 so that you can check on the finals period for this class or any other class you have just by clicking on this link. There's a link to the cheating and plagiarism policy. You should be familiar with this cheating and plagiarism policy as a student at CSUOB. Hopefully it will never arise in the context of this course or your education, but it's there available to you, and I encourage you to familiarize yourself with it as a matter of course during your time as a student. The policy on withdrawals is listed here. I follow the university policy on withdrawals, so if you need to withdraw for one of the legitimate reasons in the time scale given in that policy, I obviously comply. In addition to these, I've also added these two links. A link to the help desk, so if you need some help trying to figure out how to navigate Beachboard or how to do something within Beachboard, you're having trouble with a quiz or you're having trouble with software, you can't get Zoom to work and so on, the first stop for you ought to be this help desk. These are the people who run the technical support for all of this. They're the people who are most likely to help you. I kind of know my way around Beachboard, but these people are trained to be helpful in this regard. In addition to that, if you're having difficulties, you don't have an adequate computer, you're missing a webcam, you don't have a speaker, you don't have a microphone for Zoom, if you need software, etc., then contact these people at ATS Resources for Students, and they'll try to help you get that, help you bridge that digital divide so that you have all the technical things that you need to complete this course online. After that, there is the standard widget links. So I'll link to the counseling and psychological services, which I assume is being conducted virtually now. This is part of your fees. This is a difficult time, the pandemic, everything else that's going on in the world. So if you want to talk to somebody for that or other reasons, this is part of your fees. So please take advantage of it. There's no stigma associated with this. There's no cost associated with this. Everybody needs to talk to people. Sometimes everybody needs a little support now and then. So by all means, if you need it, take advantage of this. It is part of your fees. There's a link to the computer labs. I assume that that's useless in this term because the labs are on campus and we're not supposed to go on campus. There's a link to disabled student services. I assume they're conducting these things virtually now. So if you need to be evaluated for a disability, if you need documentation sent to a professor, etc., then you can contact Disabled Student Services by clicking on this link. There's a link to enrollment services, to financial aid, to the Learning Assistance Center, to the Student Health Services, to tutoring, to the library, and to the Writers Resource Lab. Underneath all of that is a widget with the calendar, and this will give all of the assignments that are coming up, their due dates, when their availability ends. Everything that I have as quizzes and as tests on the syllabus will also be put in here in the calendar so that you always have this available to you to look ahead and see what you need to get done. Now in the next module, actually before we go, let's go ahead and take a look at our content page. The content page here is the structure for the course. The first tab here is to our syllabus. There is a link to a PDF of the syllabus. I'll be going over the syllabus in the next module of this orientation. So let's go ahead and skip down here to the modules. The modules are breaking up the course according to thematic or lesson elements. And so they may span one or multiple weeks, and so that'll be indicated in their title as well. There'll be a description of the basic orientation of a particular module. There's a discussion, an overview, a discussion of the learning objectives, and then it lists out all of the assignments, all of the readings, the due dates, everything that you'll need to complete them, including links embedded in here. There's a link to a reading. This is a link to a assignment. This is a link to a quiz on Beachboard, and so on. And this is true for every week. We have modules for every week, every part of our course here. As I say, in the next module, we'll take a look at the syllabus. You can download the syllabus. I'll be modifying it because I need to add things like lectures. For instance, here on our syllabus, notice the class orientation video isn't linked on the syllabus because I'm making it right now. Once I do, I'll put it in. If I modify the syllabus significantly, there'll be a notice that's sent out telling you that I've modified the syllabus.